to MG Midget, the birth of a race car, capturing my journey from car restoration to the 2022 MG Car Club Speed Series. In this episode we're going to be having a look at the engine and also the gearbox.
Now on to the engine, and this is my starting point. This is the 1275 MG Midget engine, taken out of the car. A few of the basic components have been taken off, but while I'd love to say this was the beginning of an amazing strip down, and by having done the calculations and looking at the work involved, I've decided to entrust the engine to one of the good engine builders that we have here in the UK to take it out and get it up to sprint spec. So the engine's going to be taken apart and taken out to 1330, which is the biggest bore that we can have within the regulations. Other than that, it pretty much has to be a standard engine. We're going to change the pistons to get the compression ratio up, and we are allowed to gas flow the head, so it's going to have a gas flowed head, albeit with standard valves and standard camshaft. But even so, with an increased compression ratio, it should still be a really smart sprint engine. I'm being told it could be up to a 16-week build, so as a result I'm going to get it gone now, and all being well I should get it back by the end of August, and all being well it'll be the last piece of the jigsaw so I can get it in the car, and we can get some testing done towards the back end of 2021. To prep the engine then, just a few things I want to try and take off: the oil filter housing, feed pipe, the water tap, just a few bits and pieces that are not necessary for the engine refurbishment. So I'll get that done now, and then load it up and get it ready to get shipped out. It actually came apart much easier than I was hoping or was fearful of. The thermostat housing, that came off relatively easily, together with some of these oil feeds. They came off nice and easy as well. This one as well can be a bit problematic, but it just screwed straight out. So we'll get the engine gone and then await its return. So when it comes back, we'll get another video on the go, fitting it back in the car. Inspecting the gearbox, there's a few jobs to be done here. The wires are hanging off the reverse switch here. The mount has fallen apart, so we're going to need new mounts. The seals have deteriorated on the outside of the box. The clutch release bearing is worn. I'm going to change that to a roller bearing, and we've had some kind of all thread used for the pin here, so all of this is going to need to be cleaned up and upgraded. So I'm going to strip off all of the damaged or broken bits needing replacement and give the gearbox a really good clean. Lots of different products on the market to degrease engines and gearboxes, but for the gearbox this is what I'm going to use, widely available in the UK. So this is a good recommendation, or alternatively, you use what you're comfortable with. So now the gearbox is clean, I can start to just put the few bits and pieces back on that need to go on. So I'm going to need to put the clutch arm on, and I'm going to need to put the speedo takeoff on, and also the reversing switch has got to go back on. So let's get those on. So I've done the easy jobs, which is fitting the speedo cable cog and also the reverse switch. So now we're going to fit the clutch arm, and what I've done here is I've uprated the release bearing to a roller bearing, as it's going to be taking a higher load. So we've got a new bracket there for it to mount on, and made sure we've got the clips in place to be able to secure that. So let's get that mounted to the gearbox. So that's the release arm all in place. So I'm going to move on now to the mounting. Consists of a few parts. So we've got the brackets. I've bought a new stabilising rubber that goes into the mounting here, so we'll mount that onto the gearbox. And there's a shim that goes with this as well, and this is for the right hand mounting. Why it's just slightly to the right, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the engine is slightly offset, but this goes on the right hand side of the car. So let's get this all mounted up. So now the mounting is all bolted up. That's the gearbox pretty much ready to go back in the car now. So all I need to do now is wait to get my engine back, and then we can bolt up the gearbox and get the video going for getting the unit back in the car.